What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Live. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hennessy. Going solo, Pat, tonight. Let's go. Yankees pulled off another victory over the Tampa Bay Rays tonight by a score of 4-3. It wasn't the prettiest of wins, but we'll take it. At this point, a win is a win. Let's go. Listen, before we get started about anything, shout out to everybody currently in the chat. Let's take attendance/roll call. You guys know the deal. Let's start off up here. We got Borg, Big Brain Borg, that is. We got Leanna, Evan, Joseph, Matt, Ed King. Shout out Ed King. Amy, Steven Salazar, Damian, Go Yanks. We got, who else? We got Irving. We got Chibuzi, KG Baseball, Diego, Bright, Jacob, Lori, Devak, Programmer Logic. Just discovered your live streams this week. Great channel. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate everybody for stopping by for the post game today. I have to say, shout out to Clint Frazier, bro. Bro, the dude is literally on the verge of an insane hot streak. I don't want to say I warned you guys during the pregame, but I kind of did warn you guys that we're about to see Clint go absolutely off. So there you go. He had 2 RBIs tonight, 2 walks as well. He just looks so comfortable at the plate. It's going to be impressive to see what Clint does over the next couple weeks. I'll leave it at that. But with that being said, let's kind of take a look at the Yankees box score from this evening. Starting it off, DJ went 0 for 4. Another rough night from DJ. It is what it is at this point. I'm hoping that he does come around eventually. I don't think that he's this bad of a hitter. But listen, hopefully he does. Stan went 1 for 3 tonight. His at-bats definitely looked better compared to what we saw from him since coming back from the IL. Judge went 0 for 4. It's all right, Judge. It is what it is. But Gio, 2 for 4 tonight with 2 RBIs. Glaber had 2 hits as well with a walk. Rougned Odor went 1 for 4. Gary went 1 for 3. Andujar went 1 for 3. And Clint went 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and 2 walks. Let me say this, though. The Yankees' base running is still as bad as ever, bro. Now, I don't know if anybody saw the catastrophe that happened on the base paths today. I believe Gio and Glaber both got thrown out on the bases in the same inning. Stuff like this just can't happen. Like, the Yankees have now made, enough outs on the bases to, end a baseball game at this point. I believe it's, over 27. It's ridiculous. I see Bright said, let's rant about the Yankees base running now. I'm not going to rant about it, solely because it's not something that I really want to rant about. But mostly I think that it's something that should be, heavily discussed by the organization at this point. Why these guys are so bad at running the bases. Is it just a lack of understanding the fundamentals? Is it a lack of mental strength on the bases? I'm not too sure, but something has to be solved in that department before we get to the postseason, and it's really going to matter because these gaffes can't happen when in the biggest games of the year in the playoffs. So, listen, I have no idea. But if we kind of look at the pitching side of things from tonight, Monty pitched a pretty solid game, I guess, right? 6 1/3, only 1 earned run, gave up 3, but only 1 was earned. 2 walks, 6 Ks. I guess it was pretty solid. It didn't really feel like it was that great of a start just because he got screwed over a little bit with the 3 runs. But shout out to Monty. He pitched pretty well tonight. Loaiza came in, 2 outs, just 1 hit allowed. Then Chad Green came in, worked a scoreless 8th, and then Chapman came in for the 9th, left us a little bit shook. But he did close things out. Bro, look at Chapman's ERA for this season. 0.41. Absolutely ridiculous at this point. Listen, sometimes it just seems like Chapman isn't warming up properly, and then when he heads up to the mound, he just has no idea what he's doing. But I see Lori mentioned Ambergy hit another home run. He's batting over 400. Speaking of what's going on in the Yankees minor league system, Chris Gittens was pulled before he could record his final at bat tonight. Take that information as you will. I know I mentioned the same thing last night about Ambergy. Obviously, he wasn't called up. But it's possible that the Yankees send down Krisky tomorrow and call up Gittens. I'm just saying. But as far as Ambergy goes, he did go 2 for 4 tonight with 2 RBIs. He's now batting .438. I mean, Eric Kratz, Yankee legend Eric Kratz, tweeted out today that Trey Ambergy is an absolute beast. So take that as you will. I still, listen, chat, call me crazy, but I'm so down at this point to DFA Brett Gardner because he sucks. Brett Gardner is the definition of trash. Move Corey Kluber to the 60-day IL, right? And then you call up Ambergy and Gittens. What do you have to lose at that point? It's like a 2016 Judge Austin kind of vibe. Make it happen. There's no reason Kluber shouldn't be on the 60-day IL. Apparently, he's speaking with other doctors now for second opinions. It's not looking too good for Kluber. I see a lot of people are even saying like they don't know if he's going to be back at all this season just because it seems like it might be like a serious injury. So in that case, bro, just move into the 60-day IL. Even if he does come back when the Yankees expect him to, it's not going to be within the 60-day period anyway. So there's no point in not putting him on there. But Not So Family Fun Vision says, Chappie scared me as much as when you almost got knocked out by Mark, but it was just a nightmare. You better knock him out. No, I will. Trust me. If we make it happen, yeah. But Martin says, really hope DJ gets back to 2019/2020 form. I think he will. I think he will eventually. DJ's not going to stay this bad all year. There's just no chance. So I think it's only a matter of time until DJ kind of starts lighting it up. And I've kind of been saying it all season, but once DJ does start lighting it up, I think the rest of the Yankees lineup will follow suit, right? When you have a guy batting leadoff who's like DJ LeMahieu, who consistently bats like 330, it just sets the tone for the entire lineup. So if he could get back to that, that would be a very ideal situation for the Yankees. But let's see. Irving says, gotta remember, need a roster spot for Britton since he was on the 60. That's true. However, you just move Kluber to the 60. I don't know why Kluber's not on the 60 man. It really doesn't. Not 60 man. The 60 day. I don't know why Kluber's not on the 60 day IL. Makes no sense. Joseph says, make it happen. I agree. And Sevy can come back at least 60% of himself. I'll be fine with that. Is anyone else kind of concerned for what the Yankees rotation is going to look like if Kluber's not able to come back this season? I'm a little bit concerned, not going to lie. Like, you would have to kind of make a trade for a starter at that point. Because I don't want to have to go into a postseason series with, like, Domingo Germán as our number 2. Keep that in mind. Ed King says, I find the base running blunders kind of entertaining. I kind of don't. Only because, like, it might be, like, all fun and games if it's, like, a situation that doesn't really matter. But, like, these base running blunders seem to happen in pretty crucial situations for the Yankees where they don't really get on base as it is. So when you do get on base, you can't really squander it with these stupid-ass base running mistakes. It's so annoying. Bright says, DJ's been this bad, still means that he's better than half the team. True. That's definitely true. He hasn't been that bad, but, like, he's still been better than half the team, which kind of says a lot. Bro, DJ has been not good this season, but he hasn't been like Brett Gardner level of not good. That's just like a different beast, different animal, bro. Ruben says they need to start Judge in center field and Stanton. Rotate Stanton to right field and rotate DH between Judge, Stanton, and Andujar, but play all three regularly with rotating left and right field. Listen, I would agree with you. However, I don't see the Yankees starting Stanton in the outfield on a consistent basis. I just genuinely don't see it happening. I would love to see it, and it would make a lot of sense to do so, just because you don't want Stanton DHing every single day. But I don't know. I don't think the Yankees are confident in Stanton out there. I don't know. USA says they get overly enthusiastic, like, hey, I finally got on base. Better take chances like a moron because I never get on base. And personally, that might be part of the issue. The Yankees offense has struggled so much this year that they kind of look at any base running opportunity as kind of just a pathway to scoring, right? And I think they just get so over dramatic and just so over enthusiastic, as you said, to scoring, that they just lose all baseball IQ on the base paths. It's kind of ridiculous. But listen, as far as Jordan Montgomery goes tonight, this was like his second out of 3 starts where he was like really solid. So if Monty could keep this up moving forward, I think that's a huge aspect for the Yankees rotation. Only because, like I mentioned before, you don't want to have to go into a postseason rotation with Domingo Germán as your number 2. Right now, I would probably say Cole's the 1, obviously. Domingo's probably the 2, which is crazy to think about. Monty's 3, Tyone's 4, Devy's 5. That's probably like the Yankees rotation that we're currently looking at. It's just, as Lori just said, Monty's so inconsistent. It's his next start's gonna mean make or break stuff for Monty. Only because here's my thing. Monty might have pitched well now 2 out of 3, fine. But it's so like Monty that his next start he'll just get shelled, just because that's like the track record that we've seen so far this season. So if he performs well his next start, we'll see. I'll have much more faith in him. But Derek says $20 says we get a lineup without Stanton tomorrow and a terrible Boone lineup. I really hope not, because like here we are at this point. Like, could you imagine if I would have told you guys after that first game of the Rays series that we would win the next 2 and would have the potential to take 3 out of 4 from Tampa with Cole on the mound for game 4? Bro, that's unreal to think about. And I'm just really excited for tomorrow's game because, like I said, you do have Cole on the mound. Who's Cole going up against tomorrow? Chat, does someone want to let me know? Tomorrow is Cole versus who? Cole versus who? Cole versus who? Oh, it's TBD. Looks like it's a bullpen day for Tampa. Listen, if it's a bullpen day for Tampa and you got Cole on the mound, I want to see the Yankees score a bunch of runs, bro. Literally just give Cole some run support. Don't give him like the Jacob deGrom treatment. And if Boone puts out a punt lineup for the final game of this series, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be super pissed off to the point where it's like, why are you punting series against divisional rivals, bro? It genuinely makes no sense. If you look at the standings right now, I believe the Yankees are 3.5 back now? Yeah, the Yankees are 3.5 back. Which is great because after today's Wednesday, so after Monday, they were 5.5 back. By now, they could have been 7.5 games back if they would have lost these 2 games. So I think tomorrow means everything. If the Yankees win tomorrow, they'll be 2.5 back if my math is correct. Don't quote me on that. We'll see. But yeah. Ed King says Domingo Germán is good. He's back to his 18-win season vibe. Domingo's solid. However, I would like him much better as our 3 than our 2. I think a lot of people could agree with me on that. Domingo's been good, but I don't know if he's like number 2 good. Jamie McNeil says Devi is weak sauce. Well, we're going to see Devi a bunch this season, especially considering the Kluber injury. So get comfortable with Devi Garcia. I love Devi. Not everyone does. I get it, but whatever. Ruben says, unfortunately, we seem to always struggle versus bullpen days. We do always seem to struggle on bullpen days. I don't know why. It just seems like that's always the case. But listen, I think the Yankees just always seem to struggle against pitchers who they haven't seen much of. Which is odd to me because, bro, I assume that they've seen everyone in Tampa bullpen at least 15 times already over the past couple years. So I don't know how they're not, like, figuring these guys out yet. It's odd. Like Ryan Thompson, for example. I don't get it. But we got Derek in the chat. Shout out to MYY Recaps. He says Frazier's playing well. I told you all. Clint Frazier's coming around eventually. And Derek, I don't know if I told you this, but I really think Clint is on the verge of a mega hot streak. It's just, And now I'm taking back my prediction of him being an all-star. I think it's a little bit too late for that. But is it crazy to say 30 home runs is still in the cards for Clint? I don't know. I'm thinking by 25 plus for sure. 25 plus for sure. Nicholas says, tomorrow's a statement game and the upcoming Sox series is a statement series. I agree. That's kind of why this Tampa series was so important, right? To kind of set the tone for the Yankees going into that Red Sox series. Also, it's so crazy. When a couple days ago when we were hopping on the post game after the Yankees got swept by the Tigers and after the first game of the Rays series, everyone was literally looking at the Yankees as like season over. And I remember I came on here, I'm like, look, chat, like I know they're struggling, but like this team's gonna come around eventually. And everyone was saying, Pat, you're so delusional, whatever. Look at us now. You win 2 games against Tampa, and all of a sudden everyone's mentality switches like 180. So I think that's why it's important. It's a 162 game season, right? And the Yankees are going to have their drastic lows and their drastic highs. I still think that they have major needs that need to be addressed, like an outfield trade piece, or calling up Gittins, or calling up Ambergy, or trading for a starting pitcher. But I think as of right now, you look at this team as it's currently constructed, and I still truly don't see a way they miss the playoffs. I really don't see a way they miss the playoffs. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I don't know. Let's see. Martin says, I agree with Pat. I don't know why the Yankees don't hit well on bullpen days. Yeah, it's strange. It's an oddity. I have really no idea. It seems like we go into like these games and expect the Yankees to score like 15 runs off of the worst pitchers, and they just don't. But then games like against Tyler Glass now, they seem to win. So it's just it's strange. I don't know. Ruben says the players need to start pushing back on the stupid load management lineups. Bro, do you think the players really care about the load management lineups, to be honest with you, though? Like, I mean, if you were telling me I'm getting paid like $30 million a year to play in like half the games that I actually could, I might take that deal 10 times out of 10. Like, you know what I mean? So, while the players should be fighting back and be like, yeah, I want to play more, like, they're probably like, all right, I'll take a day off. You know what I mean? THG says the Yankees always suck against dudes with garbage stats or rookies making their debuts. And that's exactly my thing. Bro, you literally look at, like, Alek Manoah, the guy who dominated us in his MLB debut. Pretty sure he got rocked tonight by the Marlins, if I'm not mistaken. I want to pull up his line really quick, just because it's such a Yankee thing to do, like get rocked by a kid in his MLB debut, and then, so in 3 1/3 inning, he gave up 4 runs, 3 walks. Meanwhile, he's like almost pitching like a complete game shutout against the Yankees. Derek says Clint won't hit 30 home runs. You want to bet, Derek? You want to bet? I bet you Domingo won't finish with a below 3 ERA. Just saying. Vincent says, didn't Tampa use a lot of pitchers today? Tampa always seems to use a lot of pitchers, but today they used just 4. Yeah, they only used 4 because McHugh and Springs both went 2 innings each. McClanahan didn't pitch too well. And I'm actually kind of shocked because McClanahan is like one of those guys that we expect the Yankees to rock, but they don't. But they actually hit pretty well against him today. So shout out to the Yankees offense. Let's see. Ruben says, is that actually a fake Derek, Johnny? That's a fake Derek. Bro, ban him. Ban that bozo. But Ruben says the problem with bullpen days is that Tampa usually change up half their arms every year. That's kind of true. That's actually kind of true. Tampa always just, like J.P. Fireheisen. A dude that was in the Yankees organization for a while. Believe he went to Cleveland in the Miller deal. Don't quote me on that. But apparently the Rays acquire him and he becomes an absolute stud in the bullpen. It makes absolutely no sense. Whatever. Like, bro, whatever. Yeah, wow, fake Derek, what a bozo. Bro, if you're literally coming on here making a fake Derek account, like, go do something better with yourself. Jacob says get rid of the facial hair policy, then more players will want to play for the Yankees. I guess. You guys know where I stand on the facial hair policy. Not a fan of it. I think it should be abolished. You guys are probably going to see me make a video about that one of the off days next week. I think I'm going to make a whole video about how the Yankees should abolish the facial hair policy. So stay tuned for that. Ruben says, came from Cleveland in the Miller deal to the Yanks minors. Yes. He went to Cleveland in the Miller deal. Yeah. USA says Domingo Germán, cool stash. Bro, mustaches are allowed, I guess. I have no idea. Whatever. Bright says Bozo list June 2nd, 2021. NY recaps fake Derek. True. Kyle Johnson says, I think the Yankees play to their level of competition. That's how we outduel Glass now while getting spanked by Rich Hill. But that's my thing. I mean, if you go back to a year like 2018 or 2019, right? The Yankees seem like they beat up on teams regardless of how good they were, right? In 2019, they straight up dominated the Baltimore Orioles because of how bad they were. If the Yankees were going up against a bad team in 2019, you were almost guaranteeing it was going to be like an absolute blowout. And now it's like you go up against a bad team as the Yankees and we're just not confident. But then again, we go up against like a Shane Bieber and we're strangely confident in that. It makes no sense to me, but it's just how it works. Yankee Fan for Life says, should teams around the league sign Tampa executives because it seems like everyone's doing it? Bro, it seems like Tampa's just very smart when it comes to like their whole analytic department, scouting department. They get these diamonds in the rough and they just turn into just gems for them. And then they flip them for better gems like Willy Adames. He was decent with the Rays, but they just flipped him for J.P. Fireheisen. And he's probably going to end up being a stud for Tampa. They just find these diamonds in there. They're everything that the Yankees think they are, right? The Yankees think that they're so smart, just like the Rays, and they could go out and acquire all these guys. Wandy Peralta if he was on the Rays, he'd be an absolute beast. But he's just not going to be that guy for the Yankees. I don't know. But Derek says that's what good coaching does. Develops random players into solid players, something the Yanks MLB coaches don't do. It's true. In chat, I don't want to get this twisted here. I still believe that the Yankees should let go of Marcus Thames. Even though they've been solid the past couple of days, the hitting approach just still doesn't seem to be there. I think Marcus Thames just needs to still get the boot. I don't care if they score 10 runs tomorrow. I'm still standing by that. Just saying. Martin says, I bet when Yankees go to the World Series, Pat's going to make some fire Unhinged World Series merch. Just watch out. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. No, yeah, we'll make some fire merch when the Yankees win the World Series. I know a lot of people are still, like, not really, like, on that board. Not the board. On that wave with me. But, bro, it's going to happen. Yankees winning the World Series. Let's see. Lori says, Johnny, do you remember Tanyan Sturtzer before your time? I remember Tanyan Sturtz. From when I was a kid, the bullpen that I kind of remember is like a Brian Bruni, Mike Myers, Scott Proctor, Kyle Farnsworth, Tanyan Sturtz. Guys like that. Octavio Dotel. Who remembers Octavio Dotel? Bang. Bright says, Unhinged theory. Boone wants to manage for the Rays, so he just copies everything that Kevin Cash does in the meantime. Bro, when Boone is released by the Yankees in 20 years, he'll just go and be like the Rays bench coach. It's probably what's going to happen. But no, I think we can almost guarantee Aaron Boone's going to be the Yankees manager for at least the next 10 seasons. For sure. Sorry if that hurts anybody's feelings. It doesn't make me happy saying it, but I think it's kind of the truth. I don't know. Jonathan Albadejo, Alfredo Aceves, Damaso Marte. That's like 2009 Yankees bullpen right there. Bang. USA says Ben Heller was pretty good out of the bullpen, so not sure why we got rid of him. Ben Heller was always hurt. It really just... Listen, Ben Heller had potential. I liked Ben Heller, but at the end of the day, it's like, bro, if you can't stay on the field, there's nothing that the Yankees could really do with him, you know what I mean? But listen, shout out to William Flores with the $5 dono. Appreciate you, my man. Ice says Yankees need a rebuild after the season, no matter the outcome. Hal needs a new look by Cash, Boone, and Tim's front office and scout department tune-up. I kind of agree with you, William. Listen, we know that the Yankees aren't really like a well-functioned, well-oiled organization right now. Brian Fingerguns, bang, bang, bang. But I think if they could kind of piece something together in the offseason and kind of reconstruct the roster a little bit, I think a reconstruction is better than saying a rebuild, because the Yankees are never going to go under a rebuild. But I think if they could retool and kind of reconstruct their organization, I would be a big fan of that. I think it starts with Tim's. I would love to see Boone go. I don't know how realistic that is. The organization loves Boone. Cash isn't going anywhere. I'll tell you guys that right now. But yeah, if you want to just mess up the roster a little bit, this offseason would probably be the time to do it, regardless of the outcome of the season. But William, once again, appreciate the dono, my man. Brian says, can we talk Dave Winfield into being new hitting coach for Stan/Judge, and assistant hitting coach like Luis for small ball? Dave Winfield would be an awesome hitting coach. Just because I think he would have a lot of awesome advice to give to guys like Judge and Stan, like you mentioned. But yeah. Let's see. Yankee Fan for Life says, do you have that friend that is quite slow that you want to give Noogie because I want to? What? But listen, shout out to William Flores with $3 dono. Appreciate you, William. He says rebuild of the upper ups in the organization. Fair, bro, fair. I mean, you look at like the high-ranking dudes in the Yankees organization. I don't know how much they genuinely care about Yankees baseball. We talk about this so often, right? I mean, we kind of look at the Yankees from top to bottom. Brian Fingerguns, bang, bang, bang. And it really is like, I don't know. It's just, it seems like more of a business endeavor for them. And it's just frustrating. But USA says promote Phil Plantier to MLB hitting coach since he fixed Urshela. If I'm not mistaken, he's the AAA hitting coach, right? I heard a lot of good things about him. But Martin says, hey, Pat, would you like to see a World Series rematch between the Yankees and D-backs? If the D-backs were good, I don't know why I would love to see that happen one day. That's really random. But sure, I guess. I mean, I wasn't really even old enough to remember the 2001 World Series. I was only one. so it didn't really have any impact on me. I guess it would be cool to see a rematch one day. Not if the Yankees lost, though, but not anytime soon because the Diamondbacks are not good. Shout out to LA Yankee King in the chat. Speaking of the Diamondbacks, Madison Bumgarner fan over here. Not so family fun vision says we should not trade Glaber. Who said we should trade Glaber? If anyone said we should trade Glaber, the answer is no. Gleyber Torres has improved significantly defensively at shortstop since the beginning of the season. Offensively, he's solid. I think if we continue seeing the contact out of Gleyber, we don't need to see the power. We don't need Gleyber Torres to be a 40 home run hitter. I think if he could kind of bat above 280 with like 20 home runs or so, I'll take that with solid defense. Let's see. Ruben says, just a random thought, but Frank Thomas was a monster in 6'5" and rarely struck out in his prime. Would he be a good hitting coach for Judge Stanton? Just a thought. Bro, easily. Yeah. I would love Frank Thomas. I think he's on the Fox crew or the TBS crew. I'm not too sure. But he's on one of those crews for the postseason. And he seems to like really be providing some awesome insight during those pre-games, post-games, whatever they are. So, listen, maybe Frank Thomas would be an awesome fit for the Yankees hitting coach, too. I don't know. I would just like a guy who, either is, like, invested into analytics, like a Matt Blake for hitters, or a guy who was a very good hitter in their career. And I don't think Marcus Thames is either one of those. That's why I'm shocked he kind of lasted this long. I have no idea. But USA says, Yankees front office just wants you to pay $300 for tickets, buy a steak, and watch Meredith Marakovas see tons of home runs and not win a World Series. Small ball is not entertaining to the casual fan. That's true. The Yankees know their market, and they know their fans love the home run. Let's see what we got. Bright says, Brian is on every Unhinged stream whenever it's not a hashtag solo Hennessy stream. You know, Brian's the man. Shout out to Brian. Even when it is solo Hennessy, Brian goes bang, 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 let's go, whenever there's a dono. Yankee Fan for Life says, why do I feel like Gleyber would be the next Bogarts? Great offense, somewhat decent defense. Bogarts is really good. I think we would be blessed if Gleyber Torres turned into the next Xander Bogaerts. So we can only be that lucky. But I think anyone who's kind of still being critical of Gleyber Torres as a player, get off your high horse. He's improved significantly, and I think at some point you have to give credit where credit's due, right? And I see Elite Assassin says, what do you think about A-Rod being a hitting coach for the Yankees? I would absolutely love that. All capitals, Love. I would love A-Rod to be the Yankees hitting coach, but it's not happening. I don't think the organization is friendly with A-Rod. I don't think they'd ever bring him back, especially in a dugout role. I don't think they'd want that, but I would love to see it. Yeah, I agree, Derek. He would be more hated than Marcus Thames. He's such a controversial figure. I don't think that the Yankees would want to bring him back. But kind of tying things back to today's game, I think kind of if you look at today's game as a whole, it wasn't the prettiest of wins, right? But if the Yankees continue piecing wins like this together and kind of just gain some momentum, I think that's all they need to do to kind of get hot. You guys know what I mean? So tomorrow's going to be a huge game for this team, especially with Cole on the mound. The only thing I don't like is that it's a day game after a night game. The Yankees never seem to do really well in that case. Listen, I'm hopeful, right? Because at that point, you have Cole on the mound. What better situation would you want to kind of wrap up the series? If you could take 3 out of 4 from Tampa, especially after the way you started, bro, like what's a more ideal situation for the Yankees walking into the Boston series? Boston series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, all night games, by the way. LA Yankee King with the $5 dono. Appreciate you, my man. He says, Yankees are 1-0 since bringing back my mullet and looked better, and I want Grady Sizemore as the hitting coach. All right, this is a lot to dissect here. LA Yankee King, shout out to you for rocking a mullet. That's kind of fire. 2, since the Yankees are now 1-0 since you brought back the mullet, do not get rid of it. And 3, Grady Sizemore, as much as you may love him, he's not becoming the Yankees hitting coach. I'm just saying, that might be one of the most out there hitting coach ideas I've ever seen. It's not happening. I don't know where Grady Sizemore is. Like, is that dude still alive? Like, is he in the public eye anymore? It's like a Jacoby Ellsbury situation. I don't know where Grady Sizemore is, but shout out to you, LA Yankee King. Really appreciate the dono, my man. Let's see. Unhinged Yankees went from a 6-man rotation to a 3-man rotation in a few months. Kind of like the Yankees, huh? But let's see. As I was saying, kind of breaking down the Yankees game for tomorrow, right? the bullpen day for the Rays is kind of going to be the biggest X factor in my mind, right? Because if the Yankees aren't able to hit the Rays bullpen in the bullpen day, no matter how well Cole pitches, it's not going to matter. And it seems like the Yankees need to start going out there on cold days. Literally, like, they need to go out there and actually play for their ace. Because I think their record when Cole pitches is something like 6-4 or something. It needs to be a lot better than that. When you have your ace on the mound, kind of perform better, guys. But Pat's chat, we're dumbasses on the base paths. Boone's mind, we're being bullied on the base paths. It's true. Yeah, and I agree with Not So Family Fun Vision. Get Jacoby Ellsbury as the hitting coach. What do you have to lose at that point? Yeah. But listen, chat, that is going to wrap things up for today. Appreciate everybody for stopping by for today's postgame. Like I always say, bunch of links in the description. Follow us on Newsbreak for exclusive content. Join the Discord, bunch of fun in there. Also, merchandise link in the description as well. Bunch of $10 t-shirts on unhingedclothing.shop. I will be live for tomorrow's pregame at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Game starts at 1, so I'll be live at 12 for the pregame. It's going to be fun. Hopefully Cole pitches well tomorrow. I guess we'll see. Hopefully the Yankees could take 3 out of 4 from the Rays. But the Yankees are trending upwards for the first time in a while. With that being said, you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Turn on post notifications for more. Going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for that content. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Let's go, Yankees. See you tomorrow, 12 p.m. for the pregame. Peace.